Hi Everhouse, my name is Dan Brunn. I'm the architect and owner of Bridge House. Bridge House is in the heart of LA, which is kind of unexpected. Literally in the middle of a city where you would typically have a city center. The first time I ever visited the site was years ago, and I remember walking through it and it felt literally like Jurassic Park. It was overgrown and I loved it. My intention was to maintain that. And so the first thing that we set up was to see where all the trees are. We mapped all of these things and made sure that the architecture followed it. Nature is much stronger than anything that I could ever come up with. The challenge that we had was it's a historic neighborhood with a lot of old world style buildings. So when you're driving by, you wouldn't even know it exists. And then once the gate opens, you're finally situated and you could say, you are here. And the house is really an homage to its surrounding in nature. We started the concept from the house strictly derived from it being that there is a brook right down the middle of it. So you're dealing with a connection to nature on two different sides of the brook. The house length is 4 city buses. One of the challenges was keeping it cohesive while at the same time having so many moments and feelings within the space. Music plays a huge role. Music rhythm is similar to geometric rhythm, choreography of space. When you enter the house is not perpendicular to the facade, to the front. You have to turn. You come in, big windows, which makes slow down. Then we have the smaller windows as you pass through the brook, and those are more like staccato, which is directly related to light. And that's, to me, over the years, how I've seen that music and light and space are really just one. Right now we are at the main entry hall, which is a salon. The idea here is that this is where one gets welcomed, everything gets started. This room is the only space that's actually taller. The idea is that you would enter the space and then all of a sudden get this grand gesture, but it's saying hello. The house is a very taut and linear, bound by 90 degrees, with the exception of the fin walls. When you approach, light comes pouring right down in. However, once you cross to the other side and you look back, you get the light, but you masked from the neighbor.
Support Everhouse by becoming a member. Get access to exclusive behind-the-scenes content, members-only posts, and give us ideas on what you want to see next. Your support helps keep this channel growing and lets us create more content for you. Join now by clicking the button below.
The plan of the house is done in such a way that everything up until the brook is all public spaces. And then once you cross that, you get into the private sector, which has all the bedrooms. But above that, what I noticed after looking at the house and giving tours is that it's actually almost designed like an Italian Renaissance palazzo, in that you have the center core, which is the courtyard, and here that's the bridge area that has the outdoor courtyard. But instead of it being a donut, it opens its wings. So you have these corridors and the rooms all connect to it. The house is on a module. Everything going east-west, with one exception. I've taken that module, turned it 90 degrees, and that is my primary bedroom. The main window in that bedroom is facing west towards the sunset. However, the window from the bathroom is facing east towards the sunrise. And that actually also gives you a glimpse to see the house and how it appears almost to float and cantilever out right into your face. All the major windows are facing north to reduce the amount of heat gain from the southern sun exposure. However, in this one, we used what we would say is the fifth facade, which is the ceiling. And so we have these skylight spaces that bring in natural light and create these pointed little moments in space. Materials are not only what you visualize, but they're also a sense of touch and sound. Right when you enter the home, the gate whirs open, and then you drive onto the permeable pavers, and that gives you a different sound with the automobile. Then when you pass that, we have gravel, which makes this crunching sound. Finally, you hear the brook. From driving down the highway and then all of a sudden getting to a smaller space, plays between textures of soft, hard, light, shadow, sound, all of those things play together. Though I love different expressions, whether it be automotive design, music, architecture, art, collecting all different things, when I moved in here, I was very, very purposeful. The home itself is almost a collection of everything that's me. Over the years, I've been fortunate enough to make all sorts of friends, one of which is James Jean, who is an artist I admire, a true genius in his trade. So now we have this slingshot boy that welcomes everybody to Bridge House. For Everhouse, I chose a specific card to bring out today, and this comes back to a childhood memory. I came to America from Tel Aviv in the mid-'80s, not speaking a word of English, and I remember my friend Ken from Japan also didn't speak any English, and we would sit in the yard and draw this particular E30 M3 over and over and over again, and that was our language. So to me, there's nothing more home than that automobile to be here. We could talk for hours about the design philosophy behind that car, but I find it very congruent. To me, when I think about the ecology of Bridge House and the fact that it's a net zero house, it's a passive energy house, I don't see it any other way. I remember mid-'80s coming back home from school, turning a light switch on. And I was wondering, why do I need to turn a light switch on at 3:30 p.m.? And here right now, we're at 5 p.m. and there's no lights that need to be turned on. If the architecture makes sense, you shouldn't have to use more energy. Here at Bridge House, all of those little things are a part of my childhood.
Subscribe to the Everhouse channel by clicking on the logo to receive updates on our latest episodes.